In this video, we investigated lighting here in Unity. We started out by learning about the different kinds of lights. Directional lights, where the rays run parallel. Spotlights that form a cone of light. Point lights that give us a sphere of light with a defined range. We also looked at skyboxes and area lights for baking. We looked at casting shadows with lights and the different shadow types, whether we want hard shadows with crisp edges that are rarely seen in the real world or soft shadows that approximate the fuzziness and spread of natural lighting. We also looked at painting shadows and the advantages and disadvantages of baking shadows into a diffuse color. We painted some extra shadows on the dollhouse, adding to the shadow under the windowsill and under the door, really enhancing the detail on that object. We looked at using layers to exclude objects from lighting, adding new layers as needed, and selecting which layer an object is on, and that way we can use the culling mask in our lights to restrict a light from hitting an object. As we can see on this point light I have selected, everything is being hit by that light. If I turn off, for example, blocking, that light doesn't hit anything on the blocking layer. We looked at using projectors to project down shadows, augmenting the look of a scene and the detail in our lighting without actually casting through any geometry. We shaped cookies, in this case creating a window grid, as if there was a window that moonlight was shining through into our scene. In reality, it's simply projecting down a black and white alpha channel on that light, giving us what looks like shadows. Lastly, we lit our zombie toys scene, adding in different color in our directional light, and 4 point lights to enhance the mood and the general light in the scene, giving some variety across surfaces and making sure that the specular highlights in our round objects really show. We also investigated how to change the mood of a scene through lighting. As we see in the scene view, we've darkened the scene and made it more blue and purple in those corners, warmed up that moonlight coming in, and made the overall scene tone more ominous and fearful. The color of the lighting in a scene affects the mood before anything happens, before any action takes place, and can tell the audience how to feel, whether they should feel scared or happy. To sum up, we should think about lighting in 3 parts: highlights, midtones, and shadows. And then, where is the lighting in the scene? In this scene, I've got warm highlights and midtones where that directional light is hitting, and cool shadows. They're nice and deep, so we imagine that there are monsters, zombies, waiting for us. In the next chapter, we'll look at light baking here in the Unity editor, using the Enlighten lighting engine. We'll tag objects as static and make sure that they're baking properly, and we'll set the bake properties of different things, making sure that we get the correct bounce lighting in our scene, both real-time and baked, so our scene has a richness to it, and all that color and nuance we've put in really shows.